Welcome to the Soul-Led Revolution with me, your host, Yolandi Boshoff, and I am very excited today to speak to Carolyn Creel. So she is a down-to-earth psychic medium, spiritual coach, energy clearer, and author of How to Be Your Own Medium. So after 20 years of running her own successful cleaning business, Carolyn is now focused on teaching people how to remove energy blocks within themselves to access their own intuition. So I am so excited to have you here on the show. Thank you for joining me. And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure. I'm 56 years old, nearly 57, and I am a straightforward Yorkshire girl who I have a big thing about people using their own intuition. I've written a book on mediumship and contacting your inner self and speaking to spirit. However, I do think that there's a bit of a thing where it's inside to me. It's not just external. And I often do readings for people and go, but you know the answers. You already have the answers to this. Every time they go, actually, yeah, I do. So my mission is to get people in touch with their own intuition so that they can clear the blocks that stop them actually living their best life, and self-doubt, stopping doubting themselves.
Oh, I love that. And I think when I met you the first time and we started speaking about doing the interview, the one thing that really stood out for me was that your stance, exactly the same as mine, about the fact that we all are intuitives. Like, there's nothing special about you. You're not like, gifted, blah, blah, blah. It's just like everyone's got this, but we've just forgotten. We haven't been taught. So I think this for me is like a big subject today that I really want to dive into. And I want to just get your feel on like, how have you experienced this in yourself, in your own journey? Like, how did you all of a sudden go, oh my God, I can actually be a medium, and all of this happened? So tell us a bit about that.
I was in touch with my intuition, shall we say, when I was a child. And I used to see things, I used to feel things, I could feel energy, but I thought everybody could. I thought that was the norm. But then when you realise as you get older that that's not what other people feel, and you kind of suppress it a little bit and put it out the way, put it behind you, sort of put it on a back burner. And then I got on with life and, got married, had my daughter, got divorced, all sorts of things. But when I started when we started our cleaning business, I realised that we went from gut. We went from gut feeling, and obviously it went back to, it awakened something in me that I'd put to sleep when I was young. Yeah. So I explored that a little bit, went to all sorts of training courses, mediums and things like that. And I had the thing where I just went, we aren't special. I have it, and so do you, because you talk to people. The more you talk to people, they go, oh yes, I knew that. Same as I said earlier. Yes, I know you did. But you've got to be able to clear your blocks to be able to express yourself and to understand yourself, to understand your intuition. I had that thing where I avoided working with it for a long time because I was a bit scared, and also I'm quite practical in the day-to-day thing, so I'm a bit like, oh, that's out there. All of a sudden, no, it's not, because whether it's your inner self, whether it's spirit, they throw rocks at you if you ignore it, and you go, actually, I need to give in here and work with this. But like we said, I don't think it's anything different. Everybody has the ability.
Yes. And so that fear that you felt, because I think this is something that I encounter a lot when I speak to people. It's always like I don't know what's going to happen. So what was the like, if you had to give someone a tip, if you had to, like, to the people listening today, if you're scared of actually going there and like experiencing these different feelings, energies, all of that, like, what is the most practical thing people can do?
I always say start out by setting an intention, and my intention has always been for doing it from the highest good, and I won't let dark negative energies in. I work with my guides and things like that to stop that sort of thing. But I'm also very clear. I'm like, don't show me anything dark. Don't show me anything that I might not like, that I might be scared of, and just give me all the positive things. And it works. I think it's the old thing. If you get back what you put out. So if you're expecting negative things, then you're going to get that. I've never once had a negative experience with reading for people. But I think it's very simple. You need to learn to protect yourself and just do that thing that you're in charge of your own thoughts.
Yeah.
And nobody else is.
And I think that for me is a big thing, because it's almost like we've been taught to be disempowered. Like, you know, we don't believe that we're in charge of this experience of what we're going to encounter out there in the different realms, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm a big believer in we are stand in your own power, stand your ground and go, actually, I'm not going to put up with that. You won't put up with it in your everyday life. So don't be scared and just go own, you know, you set your intention and what comes back, if you believe and you actually believe in what you're saying, and you're coming from the highest point and it's all love and light, all lightness and clear energy, then you'll be absolutely fine.
Yes, yes. And so tell me, so you speak a lot about like the helping people to clear the pathway to their intuition. How do you do this? How do you help people to actually get into that space where they can start hearing themselves, so they can start like really connecting with their gut?
I'm a big advocate of meditation. Okay. Meditating, and it always makes me smile because people go, oh God, I can't do that. Do 5 minutes a day. Do it. The more you do it, the more you can actually get quite addicted to it, because have a spiritual practice and learn how to clear your energy. I show people how doing that through meditation, connecting with your breathing, ignoring outside influences, recognizing when it's you or is it somebody else. There's all sorts of disciplines that you can go through, but I always start, my basic is start by meditation. And some people that can take 6 months, but all of a sudden they'll get it and you go, oh my God, it works. And it's a switching off of your brain to the monkey mind, if you like, to everything, the external forces, and going within.
Yes. And I think it's so important. And I think this is one thing that I always see with people. It's like, they like, oh, but how can you be so intuitive? And it's actually, it takes work, because you have to have that discipline. And for me, like, a spiritual practice is the basis of any of this stuff. If you want to connect with yourself, you have to get quiet. You have to.
Yes, you do. You've got to give it time. I mean, I've had people say to me before, oh, but you can just do it. You can just do it. I said, but I can't. I've had to work on this. It's like, do I think that everybody has the ability? Yes, I do. But, you know, we all have the ability to run 10 miles, but you've got to train. You can't just go, yeah, I can do that. It's very simple, and I think there's an awful lot of let's make it difficult, let's make it really hard. It's not, but you've got to be dedicated and you've got to have a practice that you do regularly, and you've got to believe in it.
Yes, exactly. You got to trust that stuff that you're seeing or feeling is actually not just you making it up, because I think that for me is always, and I remember in the beginning also when I started working with my intuition, it's just like, you're like, oh my goodness, I just saw that. Like, what is, like, this can't be real. My imagination is obviously going there. And the more we allow,
Well, I always say, because people have said that to me, well, is it my imagination? I said, no. Why? Why is it? Well, it couldn't possibly be that. And then it happened, and then afterwards they'll go, well, it did come, that did happen. Yeah, of course it did. Stop doubting yourself. And that is a massive thing, is self-doubt. And I've sat in mediumship circles with people, and they'll go, if you stop trying, it will flow. And stop concentrating, trying to force things. It's amazing what just flows from you then. But you've got to be dedicated and do a spiritual practice, but not a big, massive you know, you don't need to go sit in a cave for 10 days and sit in silence or whatever.
Yeah, I'm always like, because people are like with the meditation thing as well. It's like we don't need to sit and meditate for 3 hours a day.
No.
Like this is like we're meant to live this life, right? We're meant to be here to have this experience and like
Yes,
spend time. This is part of our daily practice. It is, that's what's called
absolutely.
practice. Yeah,
Yeah,
I love it.
I'm of the same mind. You just, people overcomplicate, and it's often where you look at these things on YouTube and whatever, and you need to do that, and then you need to do that, and you need to do that, and you're like, oh my god, I'm exhausted. You know, how many affirmations do you have to say, and how many do you just like? Well, make it simple, make it work, make it fun.
Yes.
We should be enjoying it.
Yes, exactly. And I think it's a lot of this, like, just in this industry, in the wellness industry, in the spiritual industry, it's just like people make things a lot of work and they make it not fun. And I think when we're in that space of joy, like our hearts are so much more open, right? And it's just like if this is fun for you, if you like sitting here and doing this, you're automatically going to listen more.
Of course. That's the thing for me. It's getting in touch with your joy, getting in touch with your inner self, your child, whatever that is, that sparks joy. And because I think we make life hard for ourselves. If we go back to when we were kids, what did often people say to me, I don't know what I want to do. I go, what did you enjoy when you were young? Oh, well, I used to write or I used to read. Do more of what you love, because it lifts your energy and you are more in you have more of a connection to your inner self, and to because we've all got little kids running around inside us. They've not gone anywhere, so it's still there. It's a tapping into you and what sparks joy for me.
Yeah. And I think that thing has been coming up a lot for me, because in the last few years, it's like my guides have been going on about like having fun, bringing joy back. And I love what you're saying about remembering what you did when you were a kid and
Yeah,
what made you happy.
yeah.
That's yeah,
It's so simple, but we do overcomplicate, which
yeah,
is a shame, because there's two schools of thought. You can either enjoy it or endure it. So
yeah,
let's enjoy it.
yeah,
And also, we all get issues that come up in our lives. If you're, the majority of the time, you're clear into your intuition and you're living the best life you can, these blocks become smaller, and they move very quickly, because you're too busy having fun and enjoying life.
yes, yes, and not like harping on about it, right?
Yeah, moaning. People, I have a real thing that, woundology. I have people who, I can't do that because this happened to me when I was a child. Okay, deal with it. Deal with the trauma.
Yes,
Deal with it in whatever way that suits you, be that counselling, be that letting it go. But get on and trust in yourself. And, your life, you can have a brilliant life.
yeah,
Don't keep hold of your wounds, because people wheel them out, don't they? Go, oh, well, you don't know. Yeah, we've all got a sad story. We've all had traumatic things happen to us. And I don't mean to sound dismissive, but just come on, dig deep and go, okay, what do I want? What kind of life do I want to lead? Well, I want to be happy. Well, choose that then.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, I bet you've probably got the same as me. When people come to you, they're always like, I just want to be happy. I just want to find peace. And whose hands is that in? And I think we forget that. It's like you are the captain of your own ship. You are the one like running the show, right?
Absolutely. It's that thing. I can't do that because of so and so. I feel like that because they did it, or they didn't. Yeah, but you allowed them to make you feel like that. But you allow it. Well, don't allow it. Change it. Change the way that you think. Change
Yeah.
the way that you live, and let things go.
Yeah. And it is about taking your power back at the end of the day, because I think it's so many of us like, and I mean, I used to be like that, and it took work to change that. But like, you're in charge of this whole thing. You are taking your power back now. And I think that's also what this time that we're living in is really giving us all an opportunity to reconnect with our own power within us.
I definitely believe that. I think it's the thing, as women, I think we're coming, we're at a rate of knots. We are speeding up. We're certainly moving a lot faster than we have been before. And I think we are a feeling based. We're feeling, everything's energy. So we are feeling, humans are feeling creatures. So why don't we get in touch with your feelings and let go of what you don't need anymore?
Mm-hmm.
And like
And
you say, empower.
yeah, exactly. And then your work, like, how do you help people to let go of their wounds and to, you know, just like move through their issues and stuff? Like, what advice would you, if someone's listening right now, what's the first thing they can start to do? Something simple that they can start to do?
I think that they could meditate, but they can, if you need to see a counsellor, you need to go and see somebody to talk about it. Then yes, this isn't, you know, it's not medical or anything. But if it's just in a day-to-day lax or whatever, look at the write a journal every morning. Be grateful. Look and see, what are you grateful for? You know, if you've got the attitude of gratitude for all, you allow the light in instead of being stuck in the darkness. Do an assessment of your life. See, you know, what works. Do a plus and minuses. What works, what doesn't work, and then go, okay, do more of what does. And you know, I think 95% of what we worry about never happens anyway.
Yeah.
And we get locked into this fear of, if I do, or if I do that, then that won't happen. You know, this may happen. Yeah, but it might not, and it might be brilliant. And
Yeah.
sometimes you just got to get out of your own way and jump.
Yeah, and just try it, right?
Yeah,
So
give it a go.
yes. So in your work, you teach classes? Like, just give us a little bit of background about like how you help people if they, you know, if someone's listening today and they're interested in maybe working with you, like what do you
Um,
do?
what I do is I tend to do 3 one to, if somebody will just want a mediumship reading, then that's fine. The problem with me is I'm too nosy and I want to go further, so what I do is 3 sessions. So the first one we'll do a reading, see where you're at, see what, you know, what comes through, be that from external spirit and whatever, see how you are, and then I do 3 sessions. So one, it would be a mediumship reading. We would see where you're at. The second one, I would come back and give you instructions on what to do, how to do things to clear your own energy and to get where you want to be. And then the third one will be, okay, then, right, where are you? What you're doing, and let's see any little bits, tweaks and things that needed doing. I'm a big believer in 3 being enough. I'm a bit like a lifeguard. I'll pull you out the pool, but I'm not going to come home with you
Yeah.
and do. It's about the self-empowerment thing. It's about going, actually, I can do that. Yeah, and it's the small things that make a difference, like just sitting quietly, just listening, just breathing, and just calming down your whole energy system, your nervous system, and getting back in touch with yourself. And I've had huge successes from people who've changed their lives and, you know, done things and often they've gone, oh, it's because you said that. No, it isn't. You knew anyway. All I am is a catalyst to go like that.
Yes, and kind of like remind them.
Yeah.
I love that. And so it was interesting you just said about the nervous system as well, because it's something I've been looking at lately, and I think it's a little bit it's something we don't speak about a lot. So give just some ideas and tips for people and like how to work with their nervous system, some stuff that you might want to just put out there for people just to look into.
If you're not going to, it's the breathing for me. Always your breathing. It's the breathing. So many people have panic attacks and anxiety and things, which is your nervous system, and your energy. Look where you are, breathe, sit quietly, do the paper bag thing, whatever works for you. But look further. Feel inside yourself, ask questions, how you feel, why you feel. Is it others' energy? Is it where do you feel it, and what is that reason you're feeling it? Do your chakras need a balancing? Is it do you need to ground yourself? Because it's often external forces that you know, we're all affected by external energy.
Yeah, exactly. And especially if you're sensitive, and like, you know, actually we're all sensitive, so we're all gonna feel it. If the shit's hitting the fan out there and there's like, you know, wars happening and pandemics happening, we're all gonna feel it. So it's
Yeah.
also, yeah,
A big thing that I always say is switch off the TV, put your phone down, get away from the news, don't listen to it. I
yeah,
know what's going on in the world by reading the headlines, and that's it. I don't need to read anymore,
yeah,
because through social media, through mainstream media, there is so much negativity that,
yeah.
I mean, I think people who sit at home and watch This Morning on TV must be mad, because you know, I get my mum who's 80 going, well, you know, they've said this and they've said that. Stop watching it. Go outside, connect back to nature, go outside for a walk, read a book, do something. That's because all you're being is distracted by
Yeah.
this negativity. And also it's very doom and gloom. Like, there's plenty of fabulous things. Go talk to a friend who uplifts you.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the thing, is like we all get sucked into that if we allow ourselves. And I'm the same
Mhm.
as you, like no news. I'm just like, I have no idea. Most of the time I'll see someone posting something on, maybe on
Yeah,
Facebook if I'm on there, and I'm like, oh my God, there's like something really bad's happening in the world. Shit. You know, it's
yeah,
just,
exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
and it helps my nervous system immensely to not be connected with the news, like hugely.
It does. And negative people, you know, don't be around. And I know that's easy to say, but actually, you can protect yourself. You can put a shield around yourself and go, no, I'm not engaging.
Mm.
You can, so that you can stop their energy affecting yours.
Yeah. And that, I think for me, it's like that whole empowerment thing, that whole like coming back to all of that. It's like it's all choices. Like you choose all of this stuff. Like you say, it's like it's starting to make decisions and going, okay, well, this is what I want to do and this is what I don't want to do, and starting from that point as well.
It's exactly that. You're the keeper of your brain, of your mind, your body. You're inside your body.
Mm.
Um, Therefore, you make the decision. Stop allowing other people to make, or blaming other people for what goes wrong. You know, you say yes or no.
Yeah.
You know, empower yourself. Stand it. Actually, believe in yourself. It's believing and trusting in yourself.
Yeah. Beautiful. Okay, so any last words? It's been so nice speaking to you, but we're almost out of time. So any last words that you want to just leave the people with today? Just some like words of wisdom from your side.
Well, if you always do what you always did, you always get what you always got. So if you are unhappy, change, seek to change, look and find something that attracts you, that excites you. Don't carry on with the mundane. Just, we're here to live a life of joy. Come on, let's go and have fun.
Yes. Oh, I love that. I'm all for finding the magic again. And I think that's the thing.
Yes,
It's just like you have to start somewhere. And that's why, you know, we feel like we feel. And
yes,
that's why it's so lovely to speak to you, because
and you.
you can feel the magic is there. So if people want to connect with you or get hold of you, how can they get hold of you?
Um, I'm on Instagram at Carolyn Spiritual Coach, and I'm on the web at carolyncreel.com.
Okay, fantastic. So I will also post it in the bottom of the description of
Fabulous.
the show. So if you want to go and have a session or want to learn more about how to
Yeah,
connect your own intuition, then you can connect with Carolyn. So that's so fabulous. So thank you so much for joining us today. I
thank
really appreciate you.
thank you so much. I've had a lovely time.
Perfect. Okay, great. We'll be back in 2 weeks again. So thank you so much for joining us today, and have a beautiful day.